What's up, savages? I was right. God, it feels so good to say. Just want to scream it from the rooftop so everyone knows that I was right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Guy News Thoughts, brought to you by My Nutrition. I am Guy, and today, I was right, bitches. I was right. Ah! People said, oh, Scott Gandhi, you don't know anything. Envy's got year-long contracts. They're not going to break up. Woo! Man, it feels so good to be right. Rule number one, if there is a year-long contract with the buyout, right, and Parasite's on the team, just expect it to be a breakup. All right, we've seen like 4 different contracts now with Parasite involved in a year-long contract to where like teams can't break up, and then they break up. But anyways, on the serious side of things, just to bring it back, I just had to rub it in everyone's face because, you know, it feels good to be right. Envy decided to part ways with Parasite and Study. Now, I think a lot of people were expecting Parasite, but they weren't expecting Study, right? Study's kind of been this like young up-and-comer who's getting better and better and better, amazing Search and Destroy player. Some people could argue that he's the reason why they see success in Search and Destroy, right? So that right there is kind of like, whoa, why did they do that? Well, you know, there was this big twit longer from Hasher that basically said, you know, the players weren't focused on winning, and with this team, you know, I feel like people will actually be dedicated to winning and have their head in the game. Now, some of you are going to say, well, what the hell does that even mean? Well, you have to understand, Study's a young kid, and this is the rumor, right? Study's a young kid, he's got money. I was a young kid, pro players, same exact age, I had money. You know what you do? You party at events because you're a rock star. That's what you do. You party, you have a good time, things are awesome moving forward, right? So that's why. That's it. He's just a kid. He's going to mature from this, though. Everyone has to go through this. But anyways, let's go ahead and meet the 2 players that they decided to pick up. The first one's going to be Formal. This is from his Global Championship Halo 4 performance, which he finished 5th at. Formal, great player, new to the COD scene. This is his first year. He's been kicking ass. He's been on just about every single team possible in Call of Duty, with the exception of EG and Optic, excuse me. Besides that, he's been on like just about every single huge team. The next person they picked up is going to be JCap. He's going to be the one on the right if you're looking at it, or the left if you're Rambo in the picture. There is no Rambo on this team. No one really knows what's going to happen with Rambo. Some people are saying like, oh, maybe they're going to bring back an old man of Optic, like competitive squad. I doubt it. I think Rambo's kind of done with things. So how's this team going to do? No clue. I think it's going to be good. Obviously, it's like Formal, right? So, Formal and Merc on the same team. So, obviously, I'm going to be a little bit biased. But, I think overall, I think this team's going to be good. I'm interested to see how much better Formal gets at Call of Duty just because he has Merc teaching him the ways. And also, assuming this Vector patch comes out, I mean, Formal was a lot better when the MTAR was out anyways because he didn't have to worry about people, you know, hard L triggering, and he could just run around with an MTAR and spin around in fucking 360s and just kill people. So that should be interesting. Now, the last thing we're going to cover today, we're going to slap on the fucking crazy, right? We're going to slap on the fucking crazy. Everyone knows this. So I'm going to take one more sip of coffee, and then we're going to get into the rules that MLG released. Here's the fucking rules. So, this is the Season 3 rules, and a lot of people are sitting here saying, oh my god, what is MLG doing, right? Well, here is going to be the breakdown. As you can see from number 1, I'm not going to read it all, but all you need to take from number 1 is that the team owner is going to hold the spot. So, back to me, right? So, with FaZe Red, FaZe technically still owns that spot. All right, doesn't go into the players, it goes into the organization. And these rules were put in here just so it would protect both the players who qualified, the 48 players who qualified, and the organizations who were already in place there. So what can FaZe do? FaZe can decide to sell that spot, which is exactly what they're doing. I'm expecting Strictly Business to buy the spot. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I think Strictly Business has been around for a long time. They love what they're doing. They love the Call of Duty scene. They're a great organization. I'm expecting Strictly Business to have it. Now, back to the rules. So, you know, you can see a bunch of all this other stuff with, like, the starters and the amateur players, and basically this is how it's going to work here. So, in a nutshell, all right, players can either decide to be a free agent, which means they pull themselves out of the league and they go into the draft, or they have to get picked up by the team. And each team has to have 4 starters and 4 bench players. Now, with the 4 starters, it can be anyone, right? So let's say I'm EG, all right? I'm EG. I'm fucking tired of Krim, right? I'm just like, you know what, Krim? You're too fucking good. I don't want you on my team. I want to make things interesting. We're benching you. Our first pick, we draft methods because we want to add a little humor into our life. We draft methods, okay? We go through, we pick everyone else up. Then EG can say, okay, Krim, you're on the bench. We're going to have methods because we want to laugh and possibly get third, right? Like that's what we want to do, right? So anyone you draft from the open side of things can be a starter. So what we're going to see is Denial has already said, like, oh, you know what? We're going to grab Attach. Well, here's where things get a little bit funny. And as I'm going to scroll up here, so this is where things get a little bit funny. So here is the draft order. As you can see, Denial is number 5. So if you're Optic Nation, Rise Nation, or Justice, and you know that your competition wants, Attach, you fucking draft him, right? I'm so tired of people being stupid. When I tweeted that, people were like, oh, well, what about, like, fairness and decency? No, man. If I'm Justice, I grab Attach right away, and I go, oh, by the way, you're going to be on my bench the entire time because I don't care. And then I have the option of trading him in the free agency period or the trade period. Are you kidding me? Of course I do that. Why would I not? Why would I not screw over other teams so I have an advantage? That's like, put it this way, okay? If you knew that you could stop a team from forming that would be direct competition to you, wouldn't you stop it? Wouldn't you do anything in your power to stop it? Of course you fucking would. So that's what's going to happen here. So there's going to be a lot of people who are trying to get these free agents who's just not going to happen. And Denial is going to be one of them. If somehow Denial ends up with Attach, I feel bad for all 4 of those teams. I really do. Just because they had it in their hands to screw someone over. And I know it's not fair, but you know what? At the end of the day, it's a competition. You're not supposed to be friends. You're not supposed to, care about what other people think. You're supposed to care about winning. That's it. Winning. Fuck. Charlie Sheen, man. Read the fucking news. Other than that, I love you, but I don't love you. Take it easy. Oh, by the way, Web of Lies again today. This time, it's going to be Parasite and City. It's going to be a dual fucking web, so things are going to get fucking nuts. I missed the button twice.